Good evening, everyone. This is John Rollins, and it is Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, and it's time for our weekly S.T.R.I.V.E sessions. S.T.R.I.V.E, strategies to remain informed, strategies to remain victorious, strategies to remain empowered. I wonder how many of you, if you tune into these and you hear this open, you're singing along with me. S.T.R.I.V.E, strategies to remain informed, victorious, and empowered. I hope you've had an amazing week. The start of the week, it has been good for me, and as I say often, I'm looking forward to get better. It's been good, but I know that better is available for us. So I'm always peeking around the corner to find better. So we want to go ahead and spend some time with you on this evening. We want to share a thought with you, share a story with you, and then try to maybe give you something that you could find some value in. That is always our intent with these sessions, to try to give you something that will help you to enjoy the life that you live while you're here. Okay, and I say it often. I can't guarantee you that it's going to be smooth sailing, but I do believe that if we keep the sails up, we allow the wind to blow, and we kind of guide it, we can arrive at our destination. And that's what we want to do, try to help you to arrive at your destination, wherever that may be. All right? So S.T.R.I.V.E, strategies to remain informed, victorious, and empowered. And our topic for this session is, I've got your back, or I got your back. And so now, as I was thinking of this, I got a call last week, maybe a week and a half ago. I got a call from my dad, and he said, "John, I'm not feeling well." He said, "I'm not feeling well. Can you come over?" And I stopped what I was doing. I was getting ready to walk out the door to head to an appointment. I sent an email to them saying, "Look, I can't be there. I'm getting ready to go. My dad called. My dad needs me." And so I ran over there, or drove over there. I said ran, but here's something that's going on a tangent. My mom, I used to say, "Mom, I'm going to go ahead and run on home." She said, "Well, you better run a few steps. If you're not, you probably told the story." So I didn't run over there. I drove over there. I went over to my mom and dad's house. When I got there, my dad was sitting down, and he was sharing with me. He said, "John, I don't hurt." He said, "I'm not in pain." He said, "But I don't feel good." And he was experiencing dizziness. He says, "Every time I stand up, it's like the room is going around." Apparently his equilibrium had gotten off. Or some people say he had vertigo or whatever. But he said, "I don't hurt, but I don't like how I feel." And so I sat there with him, and my sister had already reached out to the doctor to see if they could get him in, if there was a need to bring him in, or if they just needed to provide him with some a prescription. And so we kind of went back and forth with them, and they decided that they would give him a prescription for something to deal with the dizziness. They would allow him to get, he had an appointment coming up. They said that if we took you to the ER, we took you to urgent care, they're not going to do anything for you. The best thing is just when you get a chance, just come in to your appointment and we'll figure it out. So we ordered got his prescription ordered, went and took care of it. But the thing about that whole episode that I wanted to point out for this session is the "I got your back" piece. So my dad had to get up, and he had to go to the restroom. But he said, "John, I don't want to fall." And so I said, "Okay, well, let's stand up." And I said, "I'm going to go with you." And as he was walking, he said, I don't want you to walk beside me. He said, "I want you to walk behind me." And so what I did is I went and I put my arms under his armpits, and I said, "I got you. I got you." He said, "John, I don't want to fall." I said, "I'm not going to let you fall." I said, "As long as you don't want to fall, I'm going to hold you up." And I said, "Now, if you just decide you want to fall, you just want to roll on the ground a little bit, you let me know in advance, and I'll lower you down so you can roll around on the ground and have your moment. But if you don't want to fall, I got you." And so I walked with him. I supported him on his way to the restroom. We got him to the restroom. He said, okay, I'm okay while I'm in here. He was able to put his hands down to brace himself. And then when he finished up, I got right behind him again, and I walked him back to the place where he was able to have a seat. Thankfully we did get the doctor to call him the prescription. We got the prescription filled for him, and he's okay. He's fine. Okay, but during that time, I really didn't think of it, but a little bit later, it occurred to me just the impression or the value, the comfort that he felt, knowing that there was someone who was with him to support him while he was going through his time of difficulty. And it occurred to me a few days later the impact that made for him and the impact that it made for me. One, because I want to always communicate to my parents that regardless of what you're dealing with, your children are here for you. Now, you may not want us there all the time. You may not feel that you need us there all the time. Okay, but we're here for you. We have your back. We're there to support you. Okay, so that was one of the things. So I know it made him feel better, but it also made me feel better to be able to be there for my dad during that time. And he's grateful. And if you know my dad, for many of you know him, he's always expressing to us how grateful he is for us, how much he appreciates us. He tells us how proud he is of us. Okay, and so those are the things that's who he is, and that's what he is for us. Okay, so for us to be able to give back to them, it means a lot for me. My mom is an entirely different story. Look, I'll need probably a few episodes to tell you about my mom. But Mom, I got your back too. Okay, but here's the thing that really resonated with me a few days after that event, and I think for those of you who know me, you probably know where I'm going with this. Many of you are familiar with the 23rd Psalms. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, and it goes through that several verses. But then it goes to verse 5, I think it is, and it says, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. And I know many of you have heard that reference, that you have two security guards, if you will, two soldiers. You can assign them whatever purpose you want for your life. Okay, but goodness and mercy follow you all the days of your life. And then for so many, I've actually heard it or read where it says, goodness and mercy pursues you. Goodness and mercy will track you down. And so I was thinking about that. Okay, so goodness and mercy escort us, follow us, pursue us, track us down. But I thought of something else, and I want to share this with you. And if you find no value in it, that's okay. I'm okay with that. But I believe that there may be something that you will hear that will hopefully offer you a different perspective. It did for me. Goodness and mercy follows me all the days of my life. And I started thinking of, if they're following me, that maybe I'm leaving a trail. Maybe there's something inside of me that's actually leaving the trail. It doesn't say goodness and mercy goes before me. And I know I pray often that I want to run into goodness. I want to run into mercy. I'm grateful that it follows me, or they follow me. Okay, but I need goodness to go ahead of me sometimes. I need mercy to go ahead of me sometimes. Okay, so it says goodness and mercy follows me all the days of my life. In other words, and this is how I interpreted it, and this is where I hope you can find some value in there. It's like goodness and mercy is the trail that I leave. When you hear something that says follow you, you can kind of envision out, and this is going to take you back a few years, Hansel and Gretel. You may remember the story of Hansel and Gretel when they went out to the in the forest, and they were afraid of getting lost, so they left a trail so that they could find their way back. Well, in my mind, when it says goodness and mercy follows me all the days of my life, I pictured that goodness and mercy is the evidence of a life that I'm living. And so wherever I go, the trail that I leave behind is goodness. The trail that I leave behind is mercy. And in order for me to leave that evidence, that means that I have to have those characteristics, those traits embodied in who I am. And so you kind of wonder, because there may be some times when people may not experience goodness and mercy as their companions. They they have heartache, they have challenges, they have disappointments, they have discouragement. Depression seems to follow them. Trouble seems to follow them wherever they go. And so please don't interpret this to say that I'm making a statement of judgment about the quality of a person's lifestyle. Okay, but David was a psalmist, and he said, goodness and mercy follows me all the days of my life. But think about how David was described before he was anointed king. There were some qualities that David possessed that I think was the evidence that wherever David went, it was indicative of who David was. That was the reason that he always was accompanied by that goodness and by that mercy. The scriptures tells us that David was a man, according to the scriptures, who had a heart after God's. A man, God said, I found a man after my own heart. The Bible talks about David being a person who he was not afraid to go out and confront challenges. He was talented. He was attractive. So it gives a lot of those good qualities about David. He was an obedient son. His dad had given him an assignment to go and do something. He was not afraid, like I said, to take initiative. When everybody in the army hid in fear, David stood up because of what he believed. He knew not to depend on his own strength. Okay, so just some of the things about David. So the goodness and the mercy that he said followed him. Is it possible that, again, that the reason that goodness and mercy, wherever he went, and he looked around, he saw goodness and mercy in his trail? Is it possible? But that's because that's who he was. Goodness and mercy was who he is. And so his character, and you know the difference between a reputation and a character. Reputation, that they say, is what goes ahead of you. Character is what you take with you, what's there with you, who you are. I believe that his character, like I said earlier, embodied goodness and mercy. And so there was nothing else that could follow him except for who he was. And I'm hoping, one, that I too embody those qualities. So when I make the statement that goodness and mercy are my companions, if they're my companions, they're with me, that means that wherever I go, I'm leaving some goodness behind me. I'm extending some mercy to those who are in my paths. Okay, but not only that, but I want to give out some love, and I want to give out some compassion. Okay, love and compassion follow me all the days of my life. Kindness and generosity follow me all the days of my life. Okay, those are the qualities that we're able to leave as our trail, because that's who we are. All right, I hope that made some sense to you. Okay, for me, like I said, it spoke to me, and I hope that for those who will listen to this, okay, I got your back, because that's who I am. Okay, that's what I represent. Those are the qualities that I want people to remember me by. Okay, all right. Hey, this is John with the S.T.R.I.V.E session. Strategies to remain informed, strategies to remain victorious, strategies to remain empowered. And I close today the way that I love to close. Okay, we're on a mission to share our "You Are Important" message with 1 million people in 2021. You know what? You know, today is the last day of June. We're 6 months into the year already. And I know that we've been reaching some lives, but we want to reach 1 million people with that "You Are Important." So if this video comes across your path and you have not heard our message before, but not only have you not heard our message, you've not had someone to come into your life to affirm your greatness, to remind you of just how wonderful you are, how awesome, how much value you bring to humanity, then I welcome the opportunity to remind you that today, tomorrow, and for always, okay, you are important. And don't you ever forget it. Hey guys, this is John, S.T.R.I.V.E session. We'll see you another time, all right? Y'all be blessed. Bye.